Joseph, YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Woman says she finally understands why older men date younger women. But is she right? I want to know. Comment down below. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
The older I get, the more I realize why older men date women that are significantly younger than them.
Okay.
And only because the women their age would never, ever even glance at them twice. Because now there are men my age that try to approach me and I have to actively withhold the urge to spit on them.
Spit on them. Let me give you guys proof that men are used to this type of like language spoken, aggression spoken towards them. You heard that and you probably said, oh, just a crazy woman. Imagine me getting on here saying, you know, modern women piss me off. I have to fight the urge to spit on them. I would never do that. Spitting on somebody is crazy. Let's keep listening.
But younger me would have just died over them. And it was for stupid reasons. Like, oh my God, he's so cool and mature. He has his own apartment. He should. He's 30. I just thought that was such a sign of maturity and being like a real grown up. But those men were creme de la piss, okay? Like cream of the turds. It's very unimpressive, but I thought that them having like, you know, good jobs was a sign of them being real adults, and they were just little immature baby boys. But yeah, those men are almost always losers. Still think it's gross, but now I see the logic.
All right, so she's here talking about how older men date younger women because the women their age will not look at them. That is not what's going on out here. That is not what we see. It's the exact opposite. Women who get older want to date men around their age. They're looking at younger women. The way she flipped that is crazy. And that thing she explained, like the whole disgust with guys their age, women who are older, is real. And it comes from spending too much time dating and being traumatized from the streets. That's what that is. Our culture today who encourages a lot of this serial dating, and for a lot of women, and you know, if you're dating a chick in her 30s, chances are she has very low patience and tolerance. You don't become less difficult to deal with. And I'll go a step further and say it's the same thing for men. The older you get as a human being, the more difficult you just get. I can't imagine myself still trying to like get married in my late 50s. I'm not saying somebody shouldn't do that, or late 40s. I don't think I would be in a place where I'd be patient enough for a relationship if I was in the situation some of these guys were in. I understand some of them where it's like, man, I'm getting too old for all this. And I think in today's society, if you're a guy who's dating and you are sitting across a table with a woman who also has experience dating and she's been traumatized, she's been hurt, there's a lot that she's been through, you represent those men. And anytime she sees something that she may disagree with, it reminds her of some ex, and that whole repulsed reaction comes to mind where she wants to spit on you, which I think is, of course, too far. But that just proves that there's nothing for anybody in the streets but trauma. And I'll be curious to know, like, what's the option if the men who are a little bit older than you cannot date, right? Let's check out some of these comments with people have to say. First comment here says, what's also weird is how some men my age assume I'm 18, 21, and then I tell them I'm 25, and you can feel the shift. I don't think 25 is that. I don't think 25 is bad at all. Here's another comment that says, I'm in my 30s and had a man in his 40s get mad when I told him my age. I'm like, I wasn't even going to deal with you because you're too old, LOL. Here's somebody else who says, I had a recent convo with a guy I was dating, who I found out lied about his age, said he was 45 when he's 51 and didn't see any issue with it. I'm 30. This next commenter says, OMG, yeah, it's so crazy how I'm now versus my younger self. It's like a different reality. Then all of a sudden your mindset just be like, what am I doing? Here's another comment that says, honestly, as I get older, I find myself relating to this so much. The bar is still low, but you start to realize that you've been accepting the bare minimum too long. First, that's that epiphany phase. Here's another comment that says, no, honestly, I look back at the guy I dated in my 20s who was 6 years my senior, and I wish I knew then what I know now. Somebody else here said, okay, so I think that's a good comment, because there was a time when a woman would have the help of the men in her life, the women in her life, and be like, help me find a good man. And they would warn her about the problematic men to watch out for. And you as a man, you know, there was a time when men had more male figures in their lives to kind of lead them down a path where they could experience a less difficult situation locking down a quality woman. But in this independent world where it's like, hey, I'm going to choose for myself and not listen to anybody else or not take on wisdom from anybody else, then people make very, very serious mistakes that leave them effed up. Here's another comment that says, 100 emoji with laughing emojis. I don't miss those younger days at all. Another woman here says, geez, this makes so much sense. Another chick here says, my ex-husband is 10 years older than me. And let me tell you, now I would never put up with what I did at 21. They know that. Yeah. There's like the perspective of, I wouldn't put up with what I did when I was 21, and people think that they've somehow gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge. And I don't think that's always the case. I think most of the times you just become more difficult and set in your ways with time, and why it's important to lock down that relationship, especially as a woman, because you're not doing the picking in that instance, but learning to cooperate with the man in the time when you're the most less difficult, right? Guys, listen, as always, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.